Hi, welcome to today's show of Focus. With me this evening, I have a wonderful young lady, and her name is Miss Earlecia. Welcome to Focus, Earlecia.
Thank you very much.
Focus. First and foremost, I didn't say your last name because to me it's been a little bit difficult to me. Like, I ain't getting it. So, for those our viewers who don't know who you are, do you mind giving them a little in-depth?
Hello, everyone. My name is Earlecia Hieronymo, and I am the Managing Director of KHAYR Organics. KHAYR Organics is a plant-based manufacturer and agro-processor of personal care products for men, women, and babies. And we do have an expansion plan in place for consumables as well and household products.
So let's stay right here for a moment. Where did the love actually generate from to, endeavor into that field?
Growing up, I believed that I was always categorized as a nurturer. I was always wanting to be the boss, letting people know, listen, this is what you have to do to get this result, or this is what you have to do to take care of yourself and take care of your mental health. And I was always an advocate for, self-care. And coming down a little bit later into life, I realized that it's very, very important, the things that we put into our bodies. And as I was on my journey to actually conceive my child, I was told by doctors that it wouldn't be possible for me to have a baby because I was diagnosed with PCOS. And this is not something that many women are proud of talking about or want to have that conversation about. But I am kind of more on the herbal, organic side of things. And so I did not take the doctor's word for it. And in that, I changed my diet. I went on to researching about what can help me and what it is that we are doing that's causing this disease to affect us. And researching the foods that we put into our body, I realized that these things are so healthy for our hair and skin as well. And that's why I call them hair food and skin food. I started to mix these herbs and products into hair oils and so on. And when I saw the results, I was amazed. So I just kept going.
So far, you're making such a wonderful strides. You're actually making some wonderful strides. Again, as I said off camera, I'm so proud of you. Where you went in. So, Earlecia, what do you think, actually helped you the most to make a career as a woman?
I think I'm very, very determined and ambitious. I always say to people that, people like to say this thing, everybody got to have hard times in life. And you always got to, the struggle got to come from somewhere. And I always tell people that I was not born to struggle. Yeah. I was not born to go through hard times. And I always use that as my fuel and my drive, that if you want something in this life, you have to go after it. And you have to go after it consistently. And you have to be determined. And you have to have a plan.
So what are some of the biggest, factors that help you to become, successful to this point?
I think the biggest factor at this point would be my ability to, closed mouths don't get fed. And I carry that with me. And wherever I go, I make myself known. I make my brand known. I make what it is that I want known. And a lot of the time that works out really well for me. I just think that when you want to be successful in a particular area, you have to first sit back and say, okay, this is the plan. This is what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. This is the end goal. And setting smart, achievable goals is very, very important. And you set your goals and then you work towards those goals. And you figure out an action plan, how you're going to get to that path. And that's what I do. And I'm never shy. Anybody who knows me knows I'm not a shy person. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to let you know. And as one of my mentors always tell me, Mr. Vishnu Durga, he always says, any room, sell yourself and sell your brand. So
As a female businesswoman, what has been the most significant barrier so far in your career?
The most significant barrier, I would say, has been a few things. Coming from Guyana, a Caribbean country, I believe that a lot of the dreams and aspirations and the persons that I have as mentors, they're not from here. While I do have a lot of Guyanese mentors, a lot of the persons that I look to for inspiration in this industry or in this field of business, they have the capacity to get certain things done that we may not have that capacity to do. That includes some challenges like getting simple things like import. I feel like import is one of the most largest hindrances that I have in business, because you have to pay large amounts of shipping fees, large amounts of duty, and that in itself costs about 40% of about 40% of my product, the cost to manufacture. So that's one of my biggest hindrances. And I would also say, like, policies, there are some things, and I do appreciate what is happening now. There is a lot of push for small businesses. And in that, I would just like to charge more, that the persons who are pushing this or advocating for small businesses, we need to go harder for the actual policies that are hindering us from, growing and expanding markets.
Females dominating a lot recently, as we fear. Almost every day we wake up to the news and see now, like, there's a female leader there in this field. Now we see the fashion, the females like Michelangelo. Putting Michelangelo sounds so masculine to us, but there's a female that dominates Versace by the name of Michelangelo and a bunch of different other females. You were doing skincare care. Have you been confronted with any form of gender-related roadblocks in your career?
I wouldn't say roadblocks. Of course, anywhere you go, you're going to feel the gender difference. You know that it does exist. Let's be realistic. But I like to use it as my power. I would always feel that women don't understand the superpowers that we have sometimes. And I do not use it, just like in any other aspects of my life. I do not treat myself or think of myself as less or a minority. When I step into a room and there's males there, lots of money, lots of, power, I am about my business, I get down to business, and I am treated as such. I like to encourage other women when they get into this industry to make sure that they use their womanhood for good, and do not ever sell yourself short, because persons can tell when you are firm and assertive and when you will not stand for certain things. So I wouldn't say that I have faced gender-based roadblocks. I think that I have pretty fair, respectable relationships with men in business. Although you always will have them, seeing you as probably, oh, she's just doing some hair care, skincare stuff or whatever. But when you open your mouth to speak and when you open your mouth to sell yourself, you have to be very confident about what you're saying and go forth.
But actually, our sisters, we are talking about this, and I really love the fact that you touched on it, because it forced me to know to ask, what are some of the qualities that you think women should possess? Because listen, a strong woman could walk in a room with 50 millionaires. I'm being realistic here. And one of them, men, we got like a supernatural ability to pinpoint a woman that know hey she be. I don't know, perhaps it's through conversations, it's through a bunch of different other stuff, but what are the qualities that you possess, that you think women should possess in the whole, to like probably not fall victim to, certain pressures coming?
That's a very touchy topic, but we'll go there. I think you just need to be assertive, and I wouldn't call it weak, but I think men can tell when a woman is a little bit more seductive. I don't think of myself as being seductive, but I would not say that that's a bad trait to have. As I said, it's your power. Your womanhood is your power. And in that, that demeanor, there are many benefits that can come out from that. I would just say to be assertive in it all, not to give in to the pressures. Make sure that you stick to business and let your business be known. If we're going to be in a room, we're at a networking event, we're at a business event, I want to talk business. Don't go past that, And once you set that ground there, you're confident about what you're saying, you're assertive in what you're saying, and you're also portraying respect to the other gender. I don't see...
Business, let's just use this word business. Such a broad spectrum, such a broad topic. What mistakes have you made along the way, and what did you learn from them?
I would say that I was never a businesswoman. And I heard you use the term successful earlier. I don't think that I am yet successful, and I take success in milestones. So in terms of mistakes, I can say that now I can call myself a businesswoman, and that is one milestone of success. I still have a long way to go. Some of the mistakes that I have made, which are a very long list, but some of the major ones that I want to share with persons would be starting out without a plan. When I started, I started my business with $100. I literally got $100. And I made a purchase of 24 bottles and just a few oils and whatever. And I had them there. COVID struck, and I just had them sitting there. A friend of mine, she wanted to wash her hair, and I had told her about the business that I'm going to start. And she was like, when are you going to start selling the oils? So I started selling, I advertised, they were sold out. Now from the responses of that 24, I started to bring more. I turned over that same money, and I kept turning over more and more. And every time they came, they were sold out before they even got here. In that exhilaration and rapid growth, I started to see amounts of money that I've never handled in my life. I started to, get all these ideas and do all these crazy things. And there was no plan in place for this growth. I didn't plan for this growth. So that would be my first mistake. I did not have a plan. The second mistake is that I was using personal funds as well as I was mixing business and personal funds. Now that's the major red flag. That in itself had led me to numerous financial issues in the business. I couldn't understand why this was happening or that was happening. And it wasn't until I started to really see the potential and say, you can't play with what is happening in front of you here. You can't risk this. And I started to seek out knowledge in terms of like business and business practices and how should I do this and how should I do bookkeeping. And I learned about paying myself through the business as a transaction. Anything that I take out from the business has to go back in as a transaction. And all of those things and all of the knowledge that I started to gain made me realize how much of a big mistake that was. We have recuperated from that. Not majorly as yet. We're still in the process because that was major damage done to the business financially. But that's one of the biggest mistakes. And I still see it happening with young entrepreneurs. Yeah. So I would always say, and I'm an advocate for this, and sometime in the future, I will be using the knowledge that I have gained to help other young entrepreneurs starting out to, guide them, because a lot of us need that guide as to some of the mistakes that we make, because it's knowledge, it's out there, but sometimes not everyone is as proactive to go out and seek that knowledge prior.
It's really good though that you're offering it, because what I'm seeing a lot lately is that a lot of young people, when they do endeavor at the business, they tend to look at the big fishes immediately as motivation, which I'm not saying is a problem. It's fair to look at Brand Cardia, it's fair to look at Jay-Z, fair to look whoever you want. But then, when you need, some sort of information, this where the communication ain't working out, because they're not going to reach, that possibility, or let me say a 0.1% possibility that they're going to reach out back to you. And then when you look at it a few years down the road, your business failed miserably because you didn't, get the necessary information, necessary guidance that, you need at that point. So, I mean, it's really good what you're doing again, trying to reach out to local small business owners also to, teach them.
There is a lot more to business than just selling. So, definitely.
What are some patterns you've noticed over the years about when you're at work and things they could be doing better to advance their career? Put in mind, this is the young lady that advocated, I want to work for nobody, I want to be my own boss.
Okay. To be honest, in a work environment, and we're speaking professionally, and I have worked since I got out of school, I've been working, let's say 8 years. Yeah, roughly 8 years. And there's a lot of personality in the working world. And I feel like personality in the working world is used as a weapon. So I came from working environments where I would hear, oh, that's just their personality. When I would have complaints about superiors or the way things are being done, women specifically. I believe that personality is not an excuse to not carry yourself professionally. It's not an excuse to treat others unfairly. For women in the working world, the way I would have carried myself would be to remain humble, understand that at all times I am dealing with adults. If you're working, you're an adult. And I am dealing with adults, no matter if I am superior to them or whatever. And I am also dealing with humans that have emotions, and we're all learning. We learn something every day, especially the environments that I was in. I was always working in safety critical environments. I was previously an air traffic controller, which is deemed one of the most stressful jobs in the world. And with that, you don't want to have environments where you're adding to, unwanted personality traits.
Yeah.
I just think that women need to be, and we're getting there. Let me just say that, not to take away from what we're doing. We're getting there, and I think that we need to more and more always be reminded that we have to be each other's keeper. We understand each other's struggles. And in a man's world, we have to be there for each other. So I just think humility and respect and, just understanding that you're dealing with humans and you have to be considerate. Although you want to be assertive and it is work and you don't want people walking all over you, you have to be, you have to deal with people like they are people.
Wow. I know, undoubtedly, you're busy. Busy a lot, managing to be a mother at the same time. Imagine a wonderful baby girl.
Yeah.
You're also a wife. How do you manage to keep your mental health in check?
Sometimes I don't. It was a lot harder when I did have a 9 to 5, but for persons who are in my following, you would know that I recently left my last job in the name of a leap of faith. And that was one of the reasons, to be honest. I have a support system, but a lot of my support system, family-wise, is based in Berbice. So my in-laws live in Berbice. And for about the first year of my daughter's life, we were sending her back and forth to Berbice because, like, I'm very scared with the whole daycare system, and she was really small yet. And I went out back to work, sent her to Berbice and back and forth. And when I did have a little bit of spare time, I was running to Berbice to go see her, and that was telling on the business as well. So I was extremely, extremely busy last year and the first half of this year. And I felt like I was on the verge of a breakdown, like a nervous breakdown. In that, and being someone who is conscious about mental health and an advocate for mental health, I realized that I had to have a serious conversation with myself, and I need to speed up this plan. I did a few things, I did a few workarounds, and I accomplished what I needed to accomplish in order to leave the job financially, because I still have a household to maintain, my husband and I. And I left the job. Now I get some time to focus on the baby. She's with me a lot of the time. And if I have something to do business-wise, I have a babysitter that would assist me now. All of these things were a part of me prioritizing my mental health. And we have to be careful when we're on the grind or on the hustle, because this lifestyle could be very, very threatening to us. And sometimes we don't realize it. We're always on the go and we want to chase after this success. But we don't take any time to unwind. We don't take any time to reflect. And in me being an advocate for mental health, I want a huge part of my business is wellness and surrounds you taking care of your mental and physical health. I have to practice what I preach, essentially. So in doing that, I realized that I need to, wind down, focus. So I took some time after I left the job to take a break from everything, from business, from work, even from baby. And you mothers need not feel guilty of that. You deserve that time. And I took that time and I did some planning. I did some relaxing. And now I'm back, better than ever. And, in my regular schedule now, I have time slotted for, retreats and going on, taking care of my hobbies, adventurous things. I like to meditate. I take some time for that. I take slow mornings. That's one of my new concepts that I've incorporated into my routine. Taking slow mornings, not rushing to get this done and that done. I take my slow mornings and I schedule everything after that time.
Mental health is so wonderful, and this is probably the second and last question before about such a wonderful interview. Mental health is such a wonderful thing, and as you spoke about just a few seconds ago about the grind, and I just want to add something to that. A lot of times, and let's just stay with females. A lot of mothers, and every day we see a large number of single parenting now again, and it's really raising by the days, and they have to pay a lot of attention to the grind, that they sacrifice the nurturing and the well-care of the small ones. And then at the same time, they're not thinking about their mental health, about their own well-being. So they're being not selfish in a bad way, but selfish in a very good way, because they're trying to put food on the table, they're trying to make sure, the young one is being nurtured financially.
Yeah.
And I think that that's been a problem for years, matter of fact, for generations, especially in the Black community, because we tend to think that money is going to materialize everything. Money is going to make that child better, because in get money, you access to get things that you never had, or what I never had. And that's been one of the biggest problems. So again, all of these things is going to fall right on the mental health. It's important to have a good mental health, in check.
Yeah.
So
Wholesome wellness. That's our focus at KHAYR, ensuring that persons have wellness on all accords. You have good products, you have good mindset, you have good health.
So, Earlecia, what would be any advice you would give to, a young lady that wants to do business, that wants to be a leader, and even strive, to be like you?
The first thing that I would say is to always be humble. I believe that humility has carried me through. I'm very transparent with my journey and, where I've been and where I'm going. I always share sometimes. And lately I've been getting a lot of persons saying how inspired they are by my journey and how much it is helping them. And that's the goal. I want to encourage women like myself who aspire in any way, whether it's to be a business owner, whether it's to be a leader, a politician, a professional. Anything that you aspire to do, go forth humbly. Always put God first. I'm a very religious person, and I believe that God always steers my path, and to always make sure that in everything you do, to be kind. You never know who you're going to meet up with or who you're going to cross paths with. I think kindness is overlooked as a value or, an attribute. Always be kind to persons and always try your best to help in any way that you can. Those are the things that I live by. I don't do too much, to be honest. I don't have a big action plan for where I plan to lead. I just share my journey and I just educate and empower as much as I can. And basically that's I have a minimalist approach to my leadership. But it's working for me. Do what works for you and just go forth humbly.
What should you look for, from Earlecia?
Well, you can expect KHAYR Organics and KHAYR Baby to be showing up a lot more. We've recently launched our baby care line, which is, according to my research, the very first baby care, plant-based baby care line in Guyana. You expect to see a lot more from us. We're going a lot more on the cooperative side. So where we have products, selling to consumers, we're going into distribution. We want to see our products on shelves. We want to see bulk supplies for salons and spas. We'll be supplying them with bulk scrubs and bulk shampoos and conditioners, etc. We want to be able to even supply cooperations and organizations with healthier solutions to hand soaps and shampoos and conditioners, such as the real estate industry. So we have a lot of plans in place. A lot of things are in the pipeline. And we will be going through that step by step as we have to take it slow. But you should expect to see a lot more from KHAYR Organics. You can reach us on 665-6266, and that's via WhatsApp. And our Instagram handle is KHAYR KHAYR spelled KHAYR OGX. We also have a website, www.khayrogx.com.
Wow. It's been wonderful speaking to you, Earlecia.
Same.
It's been up the pipeline for some time.
Yes, yes, we've been planning. Yeah, based on the schedule.
Yeah, definitely. So again, it's been a wonderful opportunity to actually speak to you and see, you know, where you stand as a young woman and, you know, what you're pursuing also. And we here at the Big Smith News Watch wish you nothing but success. We will definitely be keeping tabs on you because very soon we will be looking forward to having you.
Yes, I hook you guys up.
Definitely. So again, thanks a lot for being here on the Focus Day.
Thank you for having me.
KHAYR, by your business name, KHAYR.
A lot of people call me Miss KHAYR. I don't mind.
Okay, Miss KHAYR. We're looking forward to everything. And then, all the best, more success. We're looking forward also to see you expand to international fronts.
Yes, that's definitely the goal.
That nature. So, again, good luck and stay safe. Thank you guys for tuning in with us on the Focus today. It's been such a wonderful presentation from myself and Mrs. KHAYR. I want to say a special thanks to my technical operator, Mrs. Shaman Khan, for producing such a wonderful show of Focus.
And getting my good side.
Until next time, guys.